What's going on, guys? It's the One Round Raycon. Today we are here with the Metal Robot Spirits Altron Gundam. I waited on this one for a bit. I've been sitting on it for a while. Got him cracked open, took a couple pictures, posed him around, played with him, and now I'm finally able to record him. I'm excited. I really like this one. It came out great. I love it. I love what they did. I love everything about him. I don't have any real complaints yet, but we'll talk more about that as we get into it. If you like what you leave a like down below and subscribe for more content like this, Pokemon Yu-Gi-Oh! Figure reviews. Now let's get into this one. So like I said, this is the Metal Robot Spirits Altron Gundam. They've been kind of weird with the releases here because they've been doing like the upgraded wingsuits. But like they've started with Wing, Epion, Death Scythe. Now we have Altron and Tallgeese is towards the end of the year, I believe. Tallgeese 2, the blue one. So they'll all go with the upgraded suits. It's kind of weird because technically they don't match, but at the same time they do. But I kind of wanted like the OG suits. I would have liked that as well. But having Wing Zero, Epion, who kind of doesn't have an upgrade, Death Scythe, hell, and then Altron. They all look good together. They're going to look great back there, and as I'm looking at it, I'm going to have to get a bigger shelf or reorganize for when Altron actually shows up, or when Tallgeese comes out. First, I'll give you a shot at the box. I always love the boxes here. Really good promo art of the figure showing off what it can do, and I always replicate this art in my thumbnails if I can. Looks great. Of course, the back here with the typical product shot, showing what it can do, different features, like you can do the almighty T-pose, the big rocket punch, but not really, his shield, and all the other, like here's all the metal in the die-cast, or all the die-cast metal in him, rather. All the different just like metal and coloring and all the stuff I can't read, but just showing off fun stuff about Altron himself. And as for the man of the hour, or I guess the suit of the hour, comes, let me get my lights down a bit. He does take a bit of assembly, his wings, his shield, his little scorpion dragon tail, all that do not come in the box, or come on in the box. You have to apply them separately, but they kind of just snap right on. It's not that big a deal. Give me a quick little turnaround. All the detail is great, like they've always been. The colors are nice. It's clean. Even the back isn't boring. I know a lot of figures skip the back because why are you looking at the back of it? But here, even though the details on his little back skirt are nice, the little accent colors on the wings, little designs they put on there, so I get that to focus up a bit for you. Everything's clean. There's no bad angle on these things. And as you can see, I'm jolting him around and jostling him and all that, and he'll wiggle a bit, but he won't fall. I think they finally figured out what the hell they have to do to make these stands good, because still from Wing, you can see Wing, he has a new addition to help him hold up, thanks to Altron over here. The stand on Wing, I love the figure. It is a great figure. That stand is god-awful. I don't know why they released it like that. Epion could use some work, but it's better. But since Death Scythe and now with the Altron, I think they figured out how not to release the most absolute garbage stand. And it really sucks because the stands are really cool, because if I can pop him up, I'll take the whole stand with you. They all have fancy designs. Like this is the one for Altron. There's 2 green dragons, which is absolutely badass. I love this so much. The only way I'd love it more if it was blue, but that's just me being biased to the color blue. It's actually really great. I like it. And the stands work, thankfully. But I'm just going to say I took this long to get it fixed, and I had to use this figure to be able to make Wing and not want to topple over, because as you can see, he has that clear arm, similar to the one on here, which I'll talk about later. He comes with 2, because like in the promo art, you can see him have both of his arms dragoned out and extended out to the sides. So he needs 2 to do that, but I'm not going to display him like that, because God, that takes up a lot of space. It's ridiculous how much space it takes. But it's ridiculous that I had to steal one from another figure when they could have just released it with Epion and Wing. They did it with Death Scythe and now Altron. Why didn't they think about doing that sooner? I can sit here and complain all day. We're worried about this figure right here. Like I said, as for the looks, pulling him off his stand, he looks great. The colors pop. I love the eyes. The V-fin, of course, always looks great. The green doesn't show up as well on camera as I'd like it to, but it's kind of like a nice jade, maybe a soft jade, but it really It really complements the figure and obviously how he's supposed to look. The articulation, I'll go ahead and get into that next because he does have a lot of moving parts, but he moves very, very well. The skirt pieces, that's another complaint I haven't had with his arm moves real nice, is that they move out of the way really, really well. So you can get pretty nice split on the leg. You can more or less get 90 degrees. I'm just not pushing it that far. You can get all the way to the front and a decent way to the back. I think the back skirt piece doesn't get out of the way as much, so that's a little bit of a but why is he going to be kicking back like that anyway? He really wouldn't be. So bring him back in. His arms, if not for the wings, can go the full 90 degrees. Bring it back. I'm going to actually show off the arm articulation on the right hand here because this one's doing the silly thing, which I'll show off here in a bit. Let's go closer and go up a bit. There you go. So we got the typical double jointed elbows as I pop his fist off. Let's hold that down there. It's got the bicep swivel. Not much of a wrist swivel here. Like this bottom part does not move, kind of due to the nature of the figure, but it doesn't really hinder it at all. The hands, of course, are typical little ball joints. I just happen to knock this one off. They move around as you'd expect. As for the little dragon heads on the side, they're also kind of on a hinge. They can flip over real nice. The mouth can open and close. Try to get the focus because of how small it is. Focus up. So it can open and close. So you can kind of have like a chomping motion. These do go up individually. They're not tied together, so you can have them go up and down separately. If you wanted to be kind of like that, you can. Also, the eyes on here, they're kind of hard to see, but they have that similar green, like that green Gundam eye glow, and I love it. It looks so nice. The shoulders, they can go up and down really well, back and forth. And given what he's supposed to do, he has an extra layer of movement in that hinge. You can see here, like it comes out. It almost looks like you're breaking it, but that's what it's supposed to do. And it can really, it's mainly for this. Look how much it can move forward. Yeah, it does leave a gap, but if you're doing that, you're not going to see it. You could almost, you can get them flexing. Ooh, big shoulders. It's kind of funny. But other than the little gappage, which you're going to have to expect that. It's not that big a deal. They move really well, and that's for the effect to really get him to have his arms reaching out. And you can see here they move kind of independently of the actual like pauldron, because these just clip together and then they secure in there when you have them up. Torso, he can't really crunch forward much. He kind of go back and side to side. It's kind of limited, but given that's how all these suits are, and most of the time they're kind of more in flying poses or using their big weapons or whatever, any movement you'd want from there you can get. It's not gonna like crunch in on itself and be super crazy dynamic, but you get what you need out of it. And he can do a nice turn either way. I think if you fiddle with it, yeah, you can get him to spin the full 360 degrees. I'm not going to do that, but again, go back to the legs, fold real nice. Ankles move pretty well, and the feet do they do have a little bit of a hinge there too, so they can up and down. Let's make sure there's no hidden cannons on this one like Wing has. Does have the upper thigh swivel, which is nice. You can really get him in any walking or running or usually flying poses. Be careful with this one. He's not as sharp as the previous ones. Like Hell had too many spikes on it. And Epion, I feel like I couldn't grab it anywhere because of how spiky it is. He just have these ones right here on his lower legs. But careful with them. But they look nice and they don't really hinder anything. The head can look down decently, look up pretty well, can look side to side. Because of the goatee they all have, and then also his like side head wing pieces here, He can't really turn all the way. I'm pretty sure if you really fiddled with it, you could make it work, but just be wary of that. These are very delicate. They're soft. They're the softest plastic you're going to find on this part. They're the thinnest too, so I'm always worried I'm going to break them. Just be smart and you'll be fine. As for the back, the wings, they actually kind of collapse in, which I really like this design. So you can have them be typical, kind of just like almost angel-looking wings. Kind of like a fish hook, honestly. But then you can have them extend out and pop right off his back. I'm going to lay him down, actually. Ta-da! You can extend out more, and they do fold inwards, and they do go up and down, up and down. Pretty nice. I kind of wish they could like bend in the middle too, but that's asking for too much. They look great, and then of course a little not snake, but like dragon head or dragon tail that's on the end of it as well. Can move pretty freely. It can fold all the way around. It has the joint right there. See, I'm going to turn you downward so you can actually focus on it better. Let's go back just a bit. Move around. The actual blasters don't move or are not articulated, but the head, if you will, he can look around and be kind of dynamic. And I like how he it poses over the shoulder like it's they have Altron looking one way, but the blaster is facing the other way to like cover its back or whatever, so it's not getting snuck up on. And you see it just pegs right into the back of Altron. And unlike some of the other wing boys, I know it's wings, they have to have them. His wings aren't the most ridiculously in the way, so I'm kind of glad, because as much as they look, as good as they look and as great as they are, I'm not complaining about them. Doing a review on them's a little annoying because they're just in the way. There's like with Epion, you can't put his wings anywhere else. But these ones, they're not too flashy. And you can see right here on the side, you can slap his beam lance, I guess is what you want to call it, or trident, I guess is another way you want to call it. You can just put it right there. Again, his shield here, this is articulated to an extent. It kind of wiggles around. It can go up and down. It pops right off. He does have a set of hands where he can throw this. I'm just going to leave it on here because for the most part, it doesn't actually get in my way at all, and I'm thankful about that as well. Looks nice. I like the design on it. It's cool. It's flashy. Get to focus on it. Nice and cool. And then the key thing about him, which he already has here, you can see it's not Altron, or I guess the evolution of Shenlong, if you will, without the extendy dragon arms. And you can take his fists off if you'd like. You don't have to. I'm going to focus on that. But in the instructions, it shows just leaving the fists on. So you can extend it out and have him do the big long dragon arm. Do this, see if that... There you go. So you can focus on this and not the background. You can do this with both arms. I'm not going to do it with both arms because it's a little fidgety to get it back in, because you can see these little... You can turn it here. These little pieces right here, they secure back on here. They latch together and hold in place. That's why the left is the way it is. It is a little fidgety to get back in there. I always feel like I'm afraid because I can't get a good angle to squeeze it into place. Once you do, it does. It snaps right in. It's no big deal. You're not going to break it unless you really try to. But be wary about that. I feel like if you try to be a little too smart about it, you're going to break it. And as well... move you out of the way from me, little buddy. Just turn that way, and yeah, watch his back. These parts here also extend out in the kind of forearms. They're a little tight, so it extends out here, and then as well, I'm going to lift his shoulder pad all the way up. It also detaches as well. I'll explain that here in a second, because there's some things that go with that. See, it extends out in multiple places, so you can kind of get more movement and range out of it. And this white part can come back down if you want, or scoot all the way up. And it just adds to the range you can get out of it. Push it. Push it up even more. Okay, there we go. And then with the arm just separately here, I'll show you. It just adds an extra layer there. So you can have that extension. Though doing this does make the arms heavier, especially when you add in this part. This is it. So I throw it on the ground. This is the arm extension. He comes with 2 of them for each arm, and you just plug it in to where the port came out of. So you would just plug it in there and plug the rest into here. You'll see how this looks in the thumbnail. It just snaps right in. These are like, they get in there really tight, so I'm not going to put them back in. It was like kind of a pain in the ass to get it back out. Not too bad. It's probably because it's new and it takes some working in. But I'm not going to do it right here on camera because it was annoying to get back out and I don't want to be here all day. Turn his head out of the way. Now see, his shoulder goes straight up, which is very convenient. Really, they thought about the whole arm thing. But snapping this back into place. See, it is kind of heavy. He can, depending on how you pose the arm, which is pretty dynamic, it has plenty of spaces, like almost like a neck, where if you pose it right, it can hold its own weight pretty well. See, he's coming at the camera. But it is heavier. It will just turn. So there is metal right here, so that the head of the dragon arm, if you will, is kind of heavy. But that's why they include the 2 arm pieces that they do to snap right into the stand. As you can see, I use this one to hold up his dragon arm because it does get heavy, so you want to be wary of that, which I'm thankful they included 2, but kind of wish they would have thought about that sooner and included it with the other guys that could have also made use of that. Very nice though. And cool, I like how they really knocked this out of the park. I think they did this gimmick pretty well. I feel like this could have been a gimmick they could have easily messed up and just been like, why would I do that? But because they did it so well, I'm actually going to display it like that, which I like. Obviously, he doesn't transform, or at least not as far as I can tell. And I don't think I would transform him either. Because unless he turns into a dragon, I don't think I'll want it. Though I do think they should release a heavy arms or like heavy arms custom that either turns into a tank or just straight up a gun. And that would be kind of like OG Megatron or the SWAT Megazord from Power Rangers SPD. You see what I mean here, where getting it to line up is a little annoying. Come on. Come on. Yeah, whatever. Doesn't affect anything. I'm just going to put it back into the long arm mode anyway. He stands pretty well on his own, actually. I think this is one of the more well-balanced ones. I think because his wings aren't incredibly big, he can more or less hold his own weight, which I like. And he stands pretty good, too. Again, these are all about 5.5 inches, I believe. They're not super big, but they're not bad. Here's his main weapon. This is his lance, his beam lance, or beam trident, whatever you want to call it. It comes like this in the box. These pieces slot right in. You can choose the extra long one or have 2 of the same one on here. So you have multiple options. And they also give you the powered down mode, I guess, like the shrunken mode, that you can just slot right into the wing like I showed you earlier. And so he can hold it if he's not using his weapon. Let's put these back here. As always, they come with an assortment of hands too. They come with the 2 closed fist hands on in the box. I still have his left closed fist on. You have the holding thumb extended hands, which I think are meant to make use of the trident lance, whatever. But he also does have the traditional just holding hands here. He has one for left, one for right. We have the splayed open hands. One left, one right. And then a kind of more gripping hand. If I can get it out of the box here. I had it out and I accidentally knocked it back into its place. There we go. This is the kind of like curved shield throwing hand. So if you pop the shield off, you can see it has 4 different spots where it can go in. So if you wanted him to throw it, you would just slot it in like that. And so you could have him holding the shield to throw it or something like that, which is pretty cool. I like that they did think of everything and they implemented it all fairly well. Actually really well. I'll be honest. I try not to gush too much because I love, even if there's issues wing stand, I'll gush about how good a figure is. But I do want to try to be biased here, or not unbiased, and give out like what the issues are with them, because I'm very picky about that stuff too. There's something I don't like, it bothers me, and I'm trying to not just go, hey, look, every figure is awesome, go buy it, because that doesn't really give you a review of the figure. That just says, hey, look, it's cool, spend money, support brands. And though I do like supporting brands when they earn it, they have to earn it. I think that's all the accessories that matter, other than, of course, the second clear arm, which I stole and put on Wing so he could hold up his stupid gun. And he hasn't fallen over since I put it on there. I can shake him around, and that extra carrying for his weight keeps him from toppling over, thankfully. Because if you pay attention to some of my previous videos, he was hidden behind the big Gurren Lagann figure, just kind of falling over because I got sick of picking him up. And I'll finish off here with the size comparisons. Here he is stacked up to SH Figure Arts Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. If you take out Vegeta's hair, he's about an inch taller, half an inch. With the hair, I think Vegeta wins out just by the absolute tip, but, you know, it's not terrible. Then, of course, the Lightning Collection Wolf Ranger, who stands a pretty good head above him, which isn't crazy. And then I'll grab the most recent Gundam Universe figure I did. The Gundam Universe are scaled closer to 6 inch, so they're a bit taller. But overall, if you wanted to pair them up, it wouldn't be too noticeable. I think if you did it right. And actually, I'll pose him up against his younger self. Let's grab down the Gundam Universe Shenlong. So you can see he only had the one arm that could do the gimmick, unless it's just this toy. I don't remember if the original Shenlong could do it with both arms at this moment. I don't remember. And then his old lance, or not lance, that's more of a spear. Oh god, it's dusty. Yuck. I need to redust these ones off. Having 3 cats and then you and a girl that shed kind of make it tough. And then here's his old shield as well. So definitely an upgrade. I kind of wish they were bigger, but that's what the Metal Build series is for. They're the more like 7-inch scale ones, but they're also more expensive. So, you know, I'll stick with these ones. I like these a lot because I like all the accessories they come with. Overall, it's a very good release. Again, like I said, I try to be not too biased, but I have the nostalgia for Wing. I love Wing, and this is an excellent execution of this figure. The suit comes to life really well. It can do its main dragon arm gimmick really well. Yes, they are weighed down, but that's why they give you the 2 clear arms to use those, so you can have him all be dynamic, and once you have him in place, like the thumbnail I mentioned that I did, he looks absolutely gorgeous. He's going to look great with the 3 back here. He's going to go over here in the left spot as soon as I figure out how to make him fit, because all of them take up a bunch of space, because you get the big scythe, the big gun, the big sword, and now the big arms. But his arms aren't heavy. They're heavy, but they're not heavy arms, if you get what I mean, which I can't wait. I think that's the only one we're missing. Oh, I popped his head off. Haha. I'll put that back on later. That's the only one we're missing, I think, from the announcement. Oh, Sandrock. I forgot about Sandrock. We need Sandrock. So we have Tolgi, so we need Sandrock and Heavy Arms Custom. I hope they get announced sometime in the near future so I can get those on pre-order and get them out of the way. But overall, great figure. I love it. I can't recommend it enough. If you haven't picked up any of the other ones, this is a good start. He's fresh. He's new. I got mine from Premium Bandai. I got the pre-order. You can probably check Big Bad Toy Store, maybe Hobby Link Japan. I feel like they might not have it. Or like Entertainment Earth. They'll probably still have them. I think Big Bad Toy Store will probably still have it, but it'll probably be a little bit of an upcharge because I think this was a Premium Bandai exclusive, unlike like Wing and Epion, or I think they might have been too. I don't remember. Premium Bandai always gets all the fun stuff, and then it's like $80 more anywhere else. So try to find it if you can. If you like Wing or just like a really good suit, and also if you like dragon, robot dragons, and robots with dragons involved, you can't go wrong with this one. I love it. Anyway, if you like what you see, leave a like down below and subscribe for more content like this, Pokemon Yu-Gi-Oh! Figure reviews, and I'll see you guys next time.